Hi, I'm Dan Southworth, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I work as an actor and a stuntman in the entertainment industry out here in Los Angeles. I came out to Los Angeles to screen test for a television show, and it was my very first audition ever, and then I booked the call back, which was the screen test, and they flew me down from from Northern California, which is where I'm originally from, to screen test. So after that experience, I decided to move to Los Angeles to become an actor, to pursue a career in acting. And because I'm a very physical dude in terms of the martial arts that I do and the acrobatics and gymnastics that I can do, I was able to find work right away as a stunt performer. So I worked steadily on and off as an actor and a stuntman back and forth, and have been doing so for quite a long time. Well, what interested me about the martial arts was, first of all, I was the only Asian kid on the block, and everybody thought I should know karate. So I thought I should know karate also. The first film that I ever saw was a Bruce Lee movie called, what was it called? It wasn't Enter the Dragon, it was Return of the Dragon. And you can see why I was confused there for a second. So I was electrified by this Asian man that was the lead of this film and doing such amazing martial arts, and I thought for sure he's my favorite character in the film, but he's going to die in the next scene. And it took me a while as a 5-year-old to realize that this was the star of the show, and it was a inspiring experience for a young Asian to see for the first time an Asian lead in film and cinema. It made me realize that I didn't have to accept this socio-economic role that I was kind of being thrust into in the neighborhood I was growing up. So I said, why not? And I started to learn martial arts. I started to develop a good healthy amount of self-esteem and self-confidence. I think that was a very important thing to happen in my life, and that experience came from being exposed to Bruce Lee, Return of the Dragon, in film and cinema. And there you can see the groundwork for why I probably eventually wanted to become an actor myself in action films. So the style of martial arts that I train in, right now I don't have a style. I originally started out I wrestled, collegiate wrestling, did that competitively for 7 years. The very first style I took was a style of Kempo karate from Ed Parker's system. All you karate dorks out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a term of endearment, karate dorks, people who are martial art fanatics. I myself am a karate dork. So anyway, I started off in Ed Parker's Kempo karate, did that for a couple of years, got into freestyle wrestling from the local high school, junior high program that was available, did that for 7 years. That's a form of grappling, to put it in a martial arts perspective. Then I did judo competitively for 2 years to get better at wrestling. A friend and I decided we should learn judo in our off time. We were very avid wrestlers. We were looking at wrestling as a possibility to get a scholarship for college. So we were very focused on being good at that sport. And then from there, during the off season, I started taking Taekwondo, particularly because the school that I had found where I decided to take Taekwondo, they had a young protege student who was also the master's son. His name was Ernie Reyes Jr. And he was doing films and television, and it was electrifying. And of course, I think we established earlier that was probably where I was going to end up. So the name of the school was called Ernie Reyes West Coast Taekwondo. It later became Jim Buhison's USA Martial Arts. We broke away from the chain after about 3 or 4 years of my attendance there. But while I was at that school, we were a full contact Taekwondo school. I was a full contact Taekwondo fighter, and with aspirations of joining the Olympic team. So my year was pretty much wrestling during the winter, Taekwondo, competitive Taekwondo, Olympic style Taekwondo during the summer, and then during the spring I was a track athlete. I loved track and field, and I ran track and field just to be in better shape for the martial arts and the wrestling. So this is the school where I got my black belt, and aside from it being a very well-rounded martial arts school, It had one extra specialty, and that was that they were really into their theatrics. And the reason they were into their martial arts theatrics is because we do a lot of demonstrations around the world. We had a demo team, and that was part of the way of recruiting and getting people to be interested in taking martial art lessons at our school. It was an early martial arts marketing program. It was good for guys like me who are eventually going to go on and work in the film industry. We learned a lot about presentation and performance, and particularly how to do choreography and make it look real and exciting on a stage, in a stage format, and oftentimes for the camera. So we had a national demo team that I was a part of for almost 10 years, and you can't get that kind of training anywhere else, especially at that time. Nowadays you can. You can find it a lot of martial arts programs incorporate that kind of theatrics, that kind of presentation, that style, that demo team theatrics as an extra part of the martial arts into their curriculum. And so it's a little more mainstream now, but it was when I was exposed to it. So after I got my black belt in Taekwondo and Kempo, I came to Los Angeles. I moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in acting, and eventually I also developed a career in stunts. And still had this desire to keep up with my martial arts studies. So I was able to study Aikido, I was able to study Filipino Eskrima Silat, and some of the Junfan, which was Bruce Lee's fighting techniques, at the Inosanto Academy, and then later on with a private instructor, who I still train on and off with now, in a lot of the knife fighting, Junfan, Wing Chun techniques. And I do Jiu-Jitsu right now as something that's just fun to do. It's a grappling style again, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the workout you get from it. And I think the reason I'm still doing all this martial arts is because it's just a part of who I am. I enjoy the movement. I enjoy the strategy that is involved in a sparring session. And I finally got a good group of guys that I can get together with, and we can spar without really trying to beat each other up, because none of us at this point, in this age, still have tremendous egos that we have to worry about, or that make us dangerous in training sessions. So, as I look back, I've been involved in martial arts since I was 5. So we're talking about 35 years here of martial arts practice in different styles and various disciplines. At first, to get an overall broad knowledge of the different styles and tactics out there so that I could be better at choreography, I could be better at action. But lately, the Jiu-Jitsu has proven to me that there's still a bit of me that enjoys just being a martial artist. And mind you, before I started doing the Jiu-Jitsu recently, it had been at least 8-9 years since I had been enrolled in a formal martial arts program. Because aside from that, aside from what I'm doing now, I've been training on my own, doing the martial arts that I've learned and studied over the years on my own, and maintaining the skill sets that I need in my own workout program as a professional. Wiki.
Don't!
You know, you folks should be more careful. I hear there's all sorts of bad men out there on the road. I can't say that I have a favorite character that I've portrayed as an actor. I've played a few characters that I really enjoy. I'll be honest with you, as an actor, when you get a chance to portray any character, that's a good thing. That's good. You're making a living, or you're at least doing what you love doing. So I can't imagine that any character should or would take a precedence over the character I'm doing in the moment. I do have characters I enjoyed playing, very much so, and they tend to be bad guys. They tend to be anti-heroes. And the reason for that is because the producers and the executive producers and the director they tend to let you have a little bit more freedom when you're playing the villain or the anti-hero or the antagonist. Because they're so concerned about what their leading character should look like, whether it's he or she, and how the story should unfold around them, that oftentimes they let guys like us come in and sort of handle our own character, and if you do a really good job, they leave you alone, and that's a really nice thing. I've played both lead characters and I've played both protagonists and antagonists, and that tends to be the case. They tend to lean on you a little bit more when you're the lead and leave you alone when you're the supporting actor or the villain, and that's a wonderful thing. I love it, and most actors do love that. That's my favorite, is getting to play those characters for that freedom, specifically. The current project that I have in post-production, and when I say post-production, the major part of post-production that is happening with that project is some of the CGI that has to still be finalized. That project is called Hunted. I believe there's a secondary part to the title which just been added. Hunted, the Battle of the Drones. I can't remember. But it's Hunted, and it's coming out, and it's a sci-fi action film. And it was a lot of fun to do. I got together with a friend of the director was my friend, asked me to come along, play a supporting role, and coordinate the film, and choreograph it. So I did, and we went off and shot this film, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it, to seeing it when it is released, and I hope you will too. You'll get a chance to see it and enjoy it as much as I think we did make it. Other than that, I'm just working for the next job, man. Just trucking along, waiting for the next handout, hoping I get lucky. That's the life of an actor. Life goals. I'd like to eventually produce and direct film myself in the future. I've already produced a web series about 2 years ago, and I'm heavily involved in production whenever I do work on films in the stunt coordinator or choreographer capacity. Usually there's a little bit more design that goes into that than just creating the fights or worrying about how to put together and procure the right stuntman and the right gag for whatever it is they want to see. A lot of times I'll get involved more with story as well, and help the director producers that I'm working with. These are people that I've developed a long relationship with, though, and know me and respect me, and look forward to some of my help and creative input. That's not always the case, but be that as it may, it gives me a lot of experience and an eye for getting behind the camera and telling some stories of my own in the future. I've written one script. I'm writing an independent film now. In this industry, you have to have a lot of irons in the fire, especially if you really enjoy the craft of filmmaking. Then you enjoy a lot more than just your one particular profession. A lot of times actors end up directing and producing. A lot of times stunt coordinators become directors, PAs become producers. There's a lot of people that move through a lot of different aspects of this industry to end up where they eventually end up. So that being said, that's a possibility. I think overall, what I really sort of am looking for out of my career and life has been simplified over the years, and I just want to enjoy doing what I'm doing. Really, the best answer I can give, though, is that my long-term goal is just to really enjoy doing what I'm doing in this industry. This is what I do, I love it, and I hope I can make something that inspires or affects a large audience just once, and that would make me happy also.